Hey folks, welcome to Coco's Basement. I've got another tip for you. This one is on picking technique. Now, I've had a few emails from different folk asking about ways to enhance their picking technique. Now, this mainly came from the transcription that I put up of Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick. The string skipping 16th note lines really seem to be giving a lot of people a lot of problems. So I have this one exercise that really helps develop on the string skipping. The first exercise is all about rhythm. So it's developing your open string and playing the octave, moving from crotchets to quavers to semiquavers and then back to the start. And it really helps with your rhythm with your picking hand. So in terms of the picking hand, you alternate in between the two strings. So the two fingers, sorry. So you're leading with index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. And then once you get used to that, is then reverse it. Now, this is always overlooked, and a lot of people don't practice this. And this is where you get caught out, because sometimes when you play groups of threes, then the accent switches to a different finger. So you really need to pay attention to that. So initially, everyone has come across this exercise where you're playing one finger per fret. So I use that exercise as a way to work out this hand as well as the left hand. So I'm playing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 as I move up the notes, as I'll demonstrate. So 1 2 3 4. Now, you'll find this exercise on my website. I think the exercise is finger independence for the left hand. So, you can go through those exercises and really warm them up. Again, it's this thing of killing two birds with one stone. I like to work on both hands. I never want to single them out in any way, because otherwise you're spending hours and hours and hours and hours of practice that you can really do if you just think about what it is that you're looking to practice and putting two things together that can really combat each, with in regards to left hand and right hand. So going back and forth, single note lines, 16ths, playing them just in twos, so you're still playing it in 16ths, but you're going. Really help get this together, and really spending hours on it, just zoning out. Think of it as meditation, just going back and forth with these exercises, then getting into single lines again, and so on and so forth, and then really work on those at different tempos. Everybody always wants to move fast, but sometimes the slower that you do things, it's giving your brain time to process things. I always describe it as, if I was to give you a speech to read in front of a class or a hall of folk, and you wouldn't pick up the speech and just try to read through it as fast as you can. It wouldn't make sense. You'd miss out on words, you would slur and things. People would be trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about, And it's the same with music. You know, you don't want to rush into these things. Everybody always wants to play fast, and you know, I'm guilty of that at times as well. But really, allowing your brain to process what it is that you're trying to do, especially with new techniques or honing in on technique, if you're having problems, is that you need to teach your brain needs to really say, okay, this is index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, and then reverse. So, you know, take your time and work through these exercises. First exercise is just open string, open E to the octave, which is the second fret on your D string. And basically I'm using my first finger to play the second fret. And what's happening is the other fingers are coming up and closing up, choking off the string when I switch to the octave. Playing with the open string really helps work on this, and this is again another step into cleaning up your sound in general. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, exercise 2 is where it gets tricky. Exercise 2, you're playing doubles on each note. So you're playing 1, 2, and then jumping up to the octave, 1, 2. Now this is written out for 4 string, but you can play this on 4 string, 5 string, 6 string. I'm playing a 5 string, so if I was practicing this exercise, it's basically geared at moving up the strings and then across, so you're always moving up. So you're moving up the strings, and once you get to the G string, you'll move up a fret and then come down, and then move up a fret, and so on and so forth. So if I was playing it on a 5 string, I would practice it like this. And you move all the way up. The way I practice it, I move all the way up to the highest fret that it can possibly get up to, and then all the way back down. The reason for this is as you move up, the tension in the strings changes. So it's important to move up as you go through this exercise. So that was leading with the lower string. So you're starting on the lower string and moving up the octave. So as you work on this, don't go into speed. There's no point. The purpose of this exercise is to really hone in on cleaning the sound. So when I'm playing the lower note and I jump up to the octave, my thumb then jumps up to the string below the octave. So I'm always coming against my thumb when I pick, and my thumb is using what is now classed as the floating thumb technique. I notice there's a lot of tutorials on this thing now, but this is just something that naturally developed for me. But it really, really helps in muting the strings that you're not using. So as you move up, you have the lower strings covered. And what I noticed the more and more I practiced this was that my thumb takes care of the strings, the lower strings, and as I move up higher, the left hand's also muting the higher strings. So both sides are covered. You know, if you look at it like that, you know, the thumb's muting those strings, and then the left hand is muting the higher strings. So this really helps in cleaning up your sound, but you really need to focus on accuracy. Making your notes even is the most important thing, and this will take time. You know, these exercises can be really annoying to begin with. I've thrown a few strops in my time at these exercises, but if you persist, you'll see the benefits. And then if you practice this every day, you know, I recommend it. If you can squeeze in, say, half an hour practice of this exercise alone, within a week you'll see a difference. You know, who knows what you'd be like in a year. Like I say, I practice this quite a bit. Not as much as what I initially done, but the benefits that it's created in my playing is phenomenal. So that was exercise 1, where you're starting on the lower string. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And the next exercise 3, you're starting on the octave and coming down. So you see what's going on? So to run this up, and so on and so forth. You know, I'm just giving you a brief idea of this exercise. The PDF's there on the website, so you can have a look at that and really take the time to analyze this. I'm just going through this quick for the sake of this video. So that's exercise 2. You're reversing it. Now, the last exercise 4, combines the two. Now, you should practice all 3 exercises, because each one feels slightly different, especially when you're moving up and you're moving back down, moving up, moving back down, moving up, moving back down. The last one becomes a lot easier once you've mastered the other 2. And how that starts is you're starting the lower string to the octave, then moving up. So where I left off, I jumped on the octave. I'm going to stay on that string and play the octave, and then come down the opposite. So you started on the lower string to the higher, and then it reverses. So I'll show you what I mean, nice and slow. So, and that's the way to work. You move all the way up and then work all the way back down again, and just keep that circle going. The rule that I have when I practice is that I'll pick a tempo, and work on that, and basically I'll work for 4 minutes through the exercise without stopping. And if I make a mistake, I have to reset the clock until I get it perfect. I'll maybe get it perfect twice, then I'll crank up the tempo. If it feels too comfortable and I know in the first take that I'll get it, and I get through it on the first time, then I'll immediately move up to a more challenging tempo. And the awkward tempos, I'll work on more, because you know you want to be out your comfort zone all the time. And when you're practicing, there's no point in practicing the things that you're good at. The minute you feel uncomfortable, work on that the most, spend the most time on that, write it down as well, so that you really know where your weakness points are, and then that gives you a goal to really kind of overcome that barrier that's holding you back. And as I move up, I'm using these two fingers, the index and the pinky, to do the octave. Now the reason for that is it leaves these two fingers to mute the strings that I'm not using, and this is such a benefit to really kind of controlling how clean you play without any excess open strings.